Connecticut is more than just an East Coast state. It's a place where a mild coastline meets frozen northern hills. Heading into 2025, weather anomalies and La Niña patterns have turned many towns here into ice-covered wonderlands. But do you know which towns truly hold the record for the most extreme snow accumulation? From the legendary Norfolk to the urban bustle of Hartford, we're exploring places where a snow shovel is the most essential household tool. Grab a warm cup of coffee. The journey starts now. Norfolk remains firmly in first place as the Icebox of Connecticut. As 2025 comes to an end, the town is once again expected to be buried under extraordinary amounts of snow. Sitting at about 1,300 feet above sea level, Norfolk is a geographic anomaly. Its population of just over 1,600 people lives at a calm yet constantly alert pace. Historically, Norfolk was a summer resort for wealthy New Yorkers, but today it's better known as a quiet hub for the arts and winter beauty. Life here during snowstorms is all about self-reliance. Residents don't wait for plows. They're experts at managing snow on their own property. A unique highlight is Norfolk's historic Romanesque Revival Library, which looks like something straight out of a fairy tale castle. For locals, 2 feet of snow isn't a disaster. Moving slightly into the valley, we find a town with nearly the same weather character, but a different landscape. Canaan, often called the Crystal Valley, sees consistently high snowfall. Recent reports show the town blanketed by up to 5 inches during the winter season. Geographically, Canaan sits at the bottom of a deep valley, surrounded by large hills that trap cold air. This creates conditions where snow lingers far longer than in neighboring towns. Life here follows a slow-down philosophy. When snow covers the town, the local coffee shop becomes a gathering point where residents share stories. Canaan has a long history as a railroad transportation hub, and even today, the sound of a train whistle cutting through a snowstorm is part of its identity. In the winter of 2025, the sight of the red brick station against fresh white snow creates a nostalgic atmosphere rarely found elsewhere in America. If Canaan is about valleys, this town is about quiet elevation. Colebrook is one of the hidden gems near the Massachusetts border. Its history is rooted in iron production and farming, but today it's better known as a retreat for those seeking complete silence in winter. With a population of only around 1,400 people, snowfall here feels cleaner and purer, thanks to minimal pollution and traffic. In 2025, Colebrook remains one of the most consistent areas for early season snow. Living here means being prepared for possible isolation lasting several days. Residents typically keep large stacks of firewood and maintain very close neighborly ties. Checking on one another by radio or phone during major storms is simply normal when severe weather hits. From quiet forests, we move into the open agricultural lands of Goshen. This area is a unique mix of wide farmland and challenging elevation, making it famous as the host of one of Connecticut's largest agricultural fairs. In winter, small lakes freeze solid, and Goshen turns into an endless white plain. Strong winds sweeping across open fields often create snowdrifts as tall as front doors, a daily challenge for local farmers. Despite heavy snowfall, agricultural life never stops. Farmers here are famously tough, heading out during storms to make sure livestock are fed and protected. The town is also a magnet for winter sports enthusiasts thanks to its elevation. Interestingly, Goshen was once the largest cheese-producing center in the state during the 19th century, and that same resilience seems to live on in how residents face extreme weather today. Leaving the open fields, we enter a legendary old industrial area. Winsted, administratively part of Winchester, is a town built on toughness. Located at the meeting point of two rivers in a hilly valley, it often experiences extreme snow accumulation due to cold air funneling effects. The town's history was shaped by the devastating flood of 1955, creating a community deeply aware of nature's power, including the snowstorms of 2025. For Winsted residents, snow is part of their identity. Old brick buildings along Main Street take on a classic charm when covered in white. The community is highly active, often holding winter events at the town hall to keep spirits warm during the cold months. Heading east, we reach Hartland, often considered one of the most remote towns in Connecticut. Split into West Hartland and East Hartland by a deep gorge, the town receives heavy snowfall due to its direct border with the Massachusetts Highlands. Here, forest land outnumbers people, making winters feel wilder and more authentic than in suburban areas. Living in Hartland in 2025 requires strong navigation skills on icy, winding roads. The reward, however, is unmatched natural beauty and a lifestyle that feels truly connected to nature. Meanwhile, there's Torrington, the largest city in Litchfield County and the logistical hub for the entire surrounding region, especially when snowstorms hit. As an old industrial city, Torrington has denser infrastructure, but that actually makes snow removal more complicated because of its narrow streets and alleys. With a population of around 35,000, this is where urban life collides head-on with the harsh weather of the Northwest Hills. Even with heavy snowfall, life keeps moving. The historic Warner Theater continues to host performances, offering warmth and entertainment in the freezing cold. Interestingly, Torrington has a long history as a center for needle and brass manufacturing. Today, that industrial toughness lives on in how the city works non-stop to keep its economic pulse alive, proving that progress doesn't have to surrender to the weather. A bit farther south, we arrive in Oakville, a community within the town of Watertown. It has unique characteristics that often bring higher snowfall than coastal areas. Sitting along a common storm track from the north, Oakville frequently becomes the first barrier to receive significant snow accumulation. Its residents, a mix of working families and retirees, place strong value on looking out for one another and keeping their neighborhoods safe from ice. Oakville was once a hub for pin and fastener manufacturing. Although large industry has long since moved on, the community spirit remains strong. In 2025, Oakville continues to attract those looking for a comfortable, small-town atmosphere. Moving east and upward into the Bristol Hills, we reach Terryville, part of the town of Plymouth. It sits on elevated ground that acts like a step into the higher elevations of Litchfield County. Because of its height, Terryville often experiences dramatic weather shifts, where rain can turn into snow within minutes. Terryville's history is closely tied to Eli Terry, a pioneer of American clockmaking whose factory once powered the local economy and gave the area its name. Today, residents deeply love their town for the stunning views of the valley below when everything is blanketed in white. Each year, the town celebrates its history with community events that remain lively even when temperatures drop below freezing. Now we head west into a landscape of broad valleys and frozen rivers. New Milford is the largest town by land area in Connecticut. That sheer size means snowfall can vary widely, heavier in the northern hills, lighter in the lower central areas. Still, overall, New Milford ranks among the snowiest towns thanks to its proximity to Candlewood Lake, which can add extra moisture and intensify local snow accumulation. The community is highly active outdoors. The town green in downtown New Milford stretches long and wide, looking especially charming when decorated with lights and neatly piled snow. Living here in 2025 means embracing the full grandeur of winter in one of Connecticut's most expansive and historic towns. Union holds the title of the smallest town by population in Connecticut, but when it comes to snow, it's a giant in the eastern part of the state. Sitting directly along the northern storm track of the Interstate 84 corridor, Union often gets buried in snow while Hartford receives only a light coating. With a population of around 850 people, Union is an extremely close-knit community. One unique highlight is Travelers Food and Books, a legendary restaurant where you get free books with your meal, adding a warm, cozy charm to the town. It's the perfect place to hide out while waiting for a snowstorm to pass. Staying on the eastern side, we move to a larger and more historic community, Stafford. The town is expansive, with varied terrain ranging from rolling hills to large lakes that freeze over in winter. These features make it one of the most consistently snowy areas in Tolland County in 2025. Stafford's history as a mineral spring town once made it a health retreat destination. Today, its main appeal is the quiet beauty of rural life wrapped in ice and snow. Winter days are filled with outdoor activities, and the community takes great pride in its heritage, clearly reflected in the well-preserved historic buildings in the town center. Meanwhile, West Hartford may come as a surprise on this list. But did you know that the western part of town, especially near the hills, sits at a high enough elevation to catch more snow? West Hartford blends upscale urban living with suburban charm. When snow falls, its town center, known as Blueback Square, turns into a scene straight out of a luxury winter postcard. Residents here are highly active and don't let snow slow them down. You'll often see people going about their routines even during light snowfall. Another notable fact, West Hartford is the birthplace of Noah Webster, author of the first American English dictionary. That intellectual spirit still defines the city, even when the streets are buried in snow, making it one of the most dynamic towns in Connecticut. Next, we move to a legendary industrial city with rolling hills. Bristol, once known as the world's clock manufacturing capital, also has a very snowy side. Set among hills surrounding a river valley, the city often sees challenging snow accumulation due to its uneven terrain. As the home of ESPN, Bristol is a city that never really stops, and operations must continue even when winter storms hit in 2025. America's oldest amusement park, Lake Compounce, is also located here, offering a quiet but striking view when its rides are coated in ice. Bristol's residents take strong pride in their industrial heritage. Finally, we arrive at the heart of the state. As the capital, Hartford may not receive as many inches of snow as mountain towns like Norfolk, but its impact is the greatest statewide. In 2025, Hartford remains the coordination center where major winter response decisions are made. The site of the gold-domed Capitol building during heavy snowfall is one of Connecticut's most iconic winter images. During winter, life here revolves around maintaining mobility for thousands of commuters who rely on clear roads. Despite the constant activity, There's a unique beauty when snow muffles the city's noise, bringing calm to historic Bushnell Park. Looking at the 15 snowiest towns in Connecticut in 2025 gives us a new perspective on what winter really means. From ice-crowned Norfolk to the resilience of busy Hartford, each place tells its own story. In the end, snow here isn't just a weather event. It's part of history, an economic force, and a real test of community bonds. Living in Connecticut means learning to love the beauty hidden within the cold air and the white landscapes that blanket our homes. What do you think?